Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and a puzzle that I hope will be as popular as the puzzle we showcased just over a week ago. A week ago we published a puzzle that we described as the Sudoku discovery of the decade. It was this puzzle, Hypnotic Suggestion by Atticus837. It has been going bananas with people just marvelling at its beauty. You can see it's an 8x8 Sudoku consisting of two spirals. And the idea of this one was that in the sort of outside spiral, you have to put 8 sevens, 6 fives, 4 threes, and 2 ones. And then in the orange spiral, the inner spiral, you have to put 1, 2, 3 fours, 5 sixes, and 7 eights. And even though that might sound a little tricky, it actually turns out not to be. And people have been absolutely raving about this because you finish it and you just feel happy. And you feel like the universe makes sense. Everything sort of fits together in this really, really incredible way. Now, one of the reasons we did this puzzle was it was so heavily recommended. We had dozens of emails saying, you must do this puzzle. And one of the emails we had was from Pulsar, who is a setter themselves, and this is a puzzle by Pulsar that Pulsar sent in at the time that Pulsar was recommending Atticus837's puzzle, and said it was sort of directly inspired by Atticus837, and Pulsar did not want this puzzle to take precedence over that one. Well, let me tell you, Mark has had a look at this and has been sort of absolutely staggered by the beauty of this one as well. So although it is, I think, a similar idea, I mean, it's not the same though. It's a 9x9 and it's not got any 3x3 boxes in it. So I think it's just a pure Latin square puzzle. Anyway, Mark had a look at this and he thinks it absolutely deserves its own video. Apparently it is an amazing, amazing discovery, akin to the one that Atticus837 discovered, and obviously inspired by that puzzle. So this is what we're going to have a look at today. It's called Spiraling Circles. I think there might be a little bit of maths in this one as well, but I will read you the rules, which will not take long, let me tell you, in a moment or two's time. Now, before we kick off, let me just look at my list of things. I've got some birthdays to do. I'll mention, if you do enjoy the channel, please do like the video, please do subscribe if you can. The statistics tell us that loads of people watch regularly who aren't subscribed, and that means the algorithm doesn't sort of understand how important variant Sudoku is. How can the algorithm not understand these things? So any help you can give us in that regard would be great. And if you really like us, over on Patreon we have all sorts of bonus content, including, of course, our monthly competitions, which are always Sudoku hunts. This month's Sudoku hunt is a Sudoku worm called Regeneration. It's one of our own creations. Oh, and somehow the sizing's all gone wrong. There we go. And you can see the Sudoku worms mean they're sort of linked. The puzzles are all linked together at corners, which is rather a nice feature. Hundreds of you have managed to solve it already. If you haven't started, you've still got plenty of time. Closing date is the 20th. The prize, which some of you may like, some of you may not like, but the offer is that you get the chance to make a Sudoku video with me. We'll solve a puzzle together on the channel, and well, hopefully it will appear on the channel because we'll manage to do it. And if you want to see what that's like, have a look at the video I made with Tim, which appeared on Monday. I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen to that, where we tackled a puzzle by Itrio, and it was very good indeed, and Tim turned out to be a very, very clever fellow. Anyway, what else? Birthdays, let's do. I've got 2 birthdays to do today. We'll start off with Georgia. Georgia, you turned 26 today, and I know this because your mother wrote in, your mother Charlotte. She says that you're a high school maths teacher, and more importantly, even than that, is that you love chocolate cake, and Charlotte's mother, I guess Georgia's grandmother therefore, is the queen of chocolate cake and makes the best one. Well, that sounds incredibly tempting to me. I presume therefore that is a very heavily iced cake. The correct ratio, of course, is 1-to-1 between frosting and cake. You don't want to waste the calories on cake when it could be icing. That's what I've always said. Georgia, many happy returns. I hope you have a great day. Now, the next birthday gives me the opportunity to show my inability to pronounce Icelandic names, but I will do my best. Celia. I don't know if I've said your name correctly. That's my best guess at it. Celia, you've turned 23 today. And I know this because your partner, Steernir, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm trying. Over in Reykjavik, wrote in and said you would appreciate a shout out. And Celia, you're kind enough. Maybe it's Celia. It could be Celia. I'm not sure. Maybe Celia is closer to it than Celia. Or Celia. Yeah, Celia. I'm going to go with Celia. Celia is kind enough to say that she likes my guitar playing. Well, that is extremely kind of you. I don't know if I've got anything ready and waiting to play at the moment. I think the last bit of playing that I did was last Friday in the outro. A bit of Radiohead, exit music for a film. A very jolly song. I think that song actually normally comes first in the list of the most depressing Radiohead songs, and that is that is the top 10 of all time depressing songs. If you're the top of that list, not even the Smiths would get anywhere near that list. Anyway, Celia. Many happy returns, and I'm so sorry if I've got your name wrong. That's all the news, actually. We should do some solving, shouldn't we? Let's have a look at this Spiraling Circles by Pulsar. The rules are as follows. It's not normal Sudoku rules because we've got no 3x3 boxes. It says place the digits 1 to 9 once each into every row and column. So it's a Latin square. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 there, digits 1 to 9 there, etc. And there's only one more rule. A digit in a circle indicates the number of circles that contain that digit. And that is it. So if this digit was a 5, that would mean there should be 5 5s in circles. If it was an 8, there should be 8 8s in circles. And they are all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play Let's Get Cracking. Now, if I do double click them, I can just highlight them all. I mean, normally what you have to do with circles is to count them all. And in fact, I've just seen a beautiful way of telling that there are 45 circles. That's really lovely. Right, let me show you the way I've just seen of doing that. Actually, I'm going to uncolour to do this. So what I did, I was about to count them, going sort of 9, 1, etc. And I've just seen what you could do is that, couldn't you? That's 9. That's 8. That's 7. That's 6. That's 5. That's 4. That's 3. That's 2. I'm running out of colours now, and my yellow I've not used, and that's 1. In other words, what are we doing? To count those circles, we're looking at the triangular number for 9. 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. And I know what that is, especially in this year of all years, because that is a secret number. It's something we share with only our very favourite people. And don't worry, if you're still with me now, I'm definitely going to tell you what the secret is. The secret of Sudoku is the number 45, because that is the sum of the digits 1 to 9. And normally we see this as useful because, if you're doing killer Sudoku or something, you might want to know what the sum of a row is, or the sum of a 3x3 box is, or the sum of a column, and that's 45. But in this instance, it's actually useful because we know we're dealing with the triangular number for 9, it gives us the total number of the circles. So that there are 45 circles. And that's interesting for a different reason. And in fact, why did I say it's interesting for this year? Well, that's because this year, 2025, believe it or not, is 45 squared. So this is definitely the year of Sudoku. But why am I interested in... Why am I particularly interested in 45 as the circled number? Well, it's because, let's say this puzzle had included an extra circle there. That would have been impossible. because the maximum number of circles you could put into a puzzle is 45. Because if you think about it, if we put 9 into a circle, that tells us there are 9 9s in circles. If we put 1 into a circle, it tells us there's 1 1 in circles, which means there are 8 ones that are not in circles. So what's the maximum number of circles that you could ever have in a Sudoku puzzle with this rule set? It's going to be 9 for the 9s, 8 for the 8s, 7 for the 7s, etc., all the way down to 1 1 1. So in fact, we now know that these circles contain 9, so they contain 9 9s, and now I see the similarity. There was a sort of spiral pattern, wasn't there, in the other one? This was an 8 by 8 though, and it did have 2 by 4 boxes. But this one, this one's got the spiral pattern, but also we're sort of playing a similar game, because now having worked out that there are 9 circled 9s in this puzzle. Oh yeah, we could do this one of 2 ways actually. Yes, so I think the way I started last week was I noticed, okay, I think for 8, but it works the same for 9. There are 9 9s in the puzzle. There must be a 9 in column 1, and we've just worked out all 9s are circled, so that must be 9. But I'm wondering actually if I'm better off using sort of weird Sudoku-y stripes, in the sense that how many 9s can you put into this pattern? Well, actually we know we have to put 9 9s into this pattern. But how do I do this? I mean, if this was a 9, I'd have a 9 in that green stripe, but I wouldn't have a 9 in that stripe. That's impossible. The only way of putting 9 9s into this arrangement is to put 1 9 in each of the colours. That's the nicest way of putting it. There must be 1 9 in each colour. Now, could you put 2 9s in a colour? No. You couldn't put 2 9s in that blue, could you? That would put 2 9s in the column. You couldn't put 2 9s in purple. It would put 2 9s in the row. So there must be 1 9 in each colour, and we know there are 9 different colours because we were dealing with the triangular number for 9, so we can just fill them in. We can just fill them in as sort of going outwards, look. This is just, I mean, this is the second one of these puzzles. I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous. So we can just spiral out the 9s like that. Yeah, I mean, this is sick. This is sick, because now we can do exactly the same with 8 8s. There are 8 8s to be circled, but we can effectively uncolour this cell, can't we? And now I've got 8 different colour sections. I can never put 2 8s in any individual colour because I'll break Sudoku. So I have to put an 8 here. Oh, whoops. 8 8 8 8. It's weird the way that it always just seems to perfectly work with the gaps, and the way that the Sudoku, the Sudoku just sort of unwinds. I noticed this last week. 8 here. That's going to be an 8, I think. Let's just double check. It's the only place for 8 in orange. And then so it's going to be 8 here. And then now we can delete the yellows. And we can do the same thing for 7. There's got to be a 7 in every colour. 7, 7, 7. I mean, you might say, but I think you'd be churlish to do so, that this is not a very difficult puzzle. I suppose not, if you're familiar with The Secret, and, you know, if you're used to thinking about things in this way, which I guess on the channel we are a little bit. But who could deny how utterly, ridiculously beautiful this puzzle is? I mean, it would be absolutely wrong not to showcase this, but even though it is perhaps slightly easier than some puzzles we might look at, because I can tell you something, it's as beautiful as anything you'll ever see. That looks like it's going to have to be the 6. I just need to take care here. I probably should stop talking so much. That looks probably like it's going to be the 6, yes. And now we can undo the red, and we've got to put it's just ridiculous. 5 5 5. Yep, 5 5 I think is the only place that will work. Uncolour this one. So 4, you can see we've got 4 colours left, so we can just fill them in. 4 4 4. No, that one's already got a 4 in it. Be careful, Simon. 4 here. Uncolour the blue because it's full. Plonk a 3 into this one. Plonk a 3 into this one. Plonk a 3 into this one. Uncolour this one. And 2 2 1. And then presumably, yes, I suppose now I can, you know, even somebody as abject as Sudoku as I am can do column 2. That's going to be a 1. And now 1 in this column looks very achievable, doesn't it? So that's going to be 1, that's going to be 2. 1. How do I not see? How do I not see that this is just a naked single? I don't know. I don't know. It's a mystery. I've got the same thing there. Look, there's sort of a symmetry with the way these 1s and 2s are going in. So now we're either looking for a row or a column that's incredibly replete. Yeah, okay, look at this column. That's got all the numbers in it except 1, 2 and 3. So that's going to be a 3, that's going to be a 2, that's going to be a 1. There's probably, yeah, there's an equivalent in the rows. This is just wonderful. It is, oh, and in fact, maybe this isn't quite... Oh, yes, it is. No, I was just thinking... it feels like it must solve symmetrically, and I was slightly worried that it didn't, but it does. Right, what about this row? This has got to have a 4 in it, and 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's going to be 4. That's going to be 3. That's going to be 2. That's going to be 1. And there must be an equivalent in the columns, which is going to be this one. Actually, we probably should... Let's remove all the colour now. I don't think that's really doing much for us. So that's 4, that's 3, that's 2, that's 1. Now where should we go now? Where's the lowest hanging fruit we can possibly find? I'm not sure. Maybe this column? Yeah, I think this is a good choice because it's got 6, 7, 8 and 9 in it. And 1, 2, 3, 4 are going across there. So that's going to be 5. That's going to be 4. That's going to be 3. And that's going to be 2. So that one, the equivalent of that one is probably this one. Where we need 3, 4, 5. So that's a 5, 4, 3. It would be awful if I got this wrong, wouldn't it? What about that square? It's a naked single. It sees 7, 8, 9, and in the row it sees everything else apart from 6. So we need 7 and 8, so we can put those in. This column, we need 5 and 6. Oh, I see. Now I've started to do... Let's do some pencil marks. We might as well. Probably this column is going to be very good, though, isn't it? 4, yeah, 4 and 5. 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, I'm going to guess. Feels right, doesn't it? I mean, that is genius. It is a genius construction, and it's correct. Absolutely incredible, Pulsar. I love the thought that Pulsar has looked at Atticus 837's 8x8 Sudoku and somehow just appreciated, oh, I could do that with a 9x9 and a spiral of circles, and it would work, and it would solve uniquely. And many of you have been interested in the mathematical patterns that existed in Atticus 837's puzzle. And let's see. I sort of feel like in this puzzle there should be some sort of rotational symmetry. That's what I feel like there might have to be. I'm not seeing anything immediately though. Those add up to 13, those add up to 13, those add up to 7, those add up to 7. No, that doesn't work in the rows. That's 14, that's 12. Does it? It does work. These... Oh no, it doesn't work there either. No, so there are certain dominoes that seem to sum to the same. Yeah, 11, 5, 15. And that 1, 9 and 2, 8, they sum to the same. but it doesn't quite work here. Those do not sum to the same. I suppose they sum to the same mod 10, don't they? No, they don't. That's total nonsense. No, they don't. Mod 9, they do. And then what have we got here? Oh, mod 9 again. Yeah. 17 has a remainder of 8. So does 8 have a remainder of 8. And it was really different in the rows. 8 plus 1 is 9. 2 plus... No. Maybe I'm wrong. So maybe there isn't some sort of structure, but it feels like there must be. It just feels like there must be. And I bet if you stared at this grid long enough, you would spot patterns in it. Anyway, I mustn't do that. I'm taking up enough of your time as it is. There you go. That is Pulsar. That is a sensational, let's call it a sequel to one of the discoveries in all Sudoku history. And you have only augmented that, my friend. Absolutely brilliant. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.